Suddenly, however, I couldn't talk. More accurately, I couldn't stand listening to myself talk. I started to hear a voice inside my head commenting on my opinions. Every time I said something, it said something critical. The voice employed a standard refrain delivered in a somewhat bored and matter-of-fact tone. You don't believe that. That isn't true. You don't believe that. That isn't true. The voice applied such comments to almost every phrase I spoke. I couldn't understand what to make of this. I knew the source of the commentary was part of me, but this knowledge only increased my confusion. Which part, precisely, was me? The talking part or the criticizing part? If it was the talking part, then what was the criticizing part? If it was the criticizing part, well then, how could virtually everything I said be untrue? In my ignorance and confusion, I decided to experiment. I tried only to say things that my internal reviewer would pass unchallenged. This meant that I really had to listen to what I was saying, that I spoke much less often, and that I would frequently stop midway through a sentence, feel embarrassed, and reformulate my thoughts. I soon noticed that I felt much less agitated and more confident when I only said things that the voice did not object to. This came as a definite relief. My experiment had been a success. I was the criticizing part. Nonetheless, it took me a long time to reconcile myself to the idea that almost all my thoughts weren't real, weren't true, or at least weren't mine. All the things I believed were things I thought sounded good, admirable, respectable, courageous. They weren't my things, however. I had stolen them. Most of them I had taken from books. Having understood them abstractly, I presumed I had a right to them, presumed that I could adopt them as if they were mine, presumed that they were me. My head was stuffed full of the ideas of others, stuffed full of arguments I could not logically refute. I did not know then that an irrefutable argument is not necessarily true, nor that the right to identify with certain ideas had to be earned.